develop and run digital services. All our staff, around 12, are designers primarily and a developer. So the first thing I want to talk about is that whole thing around digital. So in terms of investment, in terms of bringing investment and being invested in, is a clear understanding of what digital is. Particularly in healthcare, probably elsewhere as well, we are focused in healthcare. There's no clear understanding and acceptance of what digital is. First of all, technology and digital is mixed up. So a lot of NHS people will go to it. Digital sits with their IT people who are good at running their servers and whatever else, and not good at really understanding and talking about digital. So we really need to understand digital.
Just hold the mic a wee bit closer to your mouth.
Yeah. Really need to understand digital much better. The other is, the future is in running digital services, not creating digital products. We are still pushed by investors and funders to talk about digital products. It's not about just creating some sort of website, creating apps. It is about actually creating something that becomes a service that is focused on users and run for the benefit of those users, which of course is what then leads to data and AI and so on, which others will talk about later. But the fundamental thing is understand that whole point around digital and digital services. I will come back to that notion in a minute, but just to bring it back to where we are a sort of bootstrapped startup, and this is very, very relevant to us because we are going into, or hoping to go into, a seed round, and I'm getting a team together. My new chair is actually in the room, Jeff. So we are putting our story together as to how we will go, and these are the sort of points that are coming through. So if you're talking about UK as a hub, many of these points become very relevant. When I look at healthcare deals in the US, they are going up considerably. So one starts thinking about what do we need to welcome or attract investors from those sort of investment markets, say Silicon Valley or New York. So some say Silicon Valley investors back dreams, whereas UK don't. So if I go with that, and again, I think another provocation will cover it more thoroughly, we need to back dreamers. It's not the dreams, but first we need dreamers, and we need to encourage them to dream properly. So yes, unicorns are only dreamt. So you do need the dream to start with, and we need to get the right people amongst our millennials, amongst the Generation Y who can come in. So my team is 12, 11 of whom are female, and age between 25 and 34. I am 3 times older than the average age in my company. And that's where the future is for investment. And my question would be, is the investment community ready to back that team? Not me. And that's the problem. It should not be based around people like myself. However, the same millennials need to challenge about their passion, their enthusiasm is high, but their commitment to longer term also needs to be brought in. And that's where how the generational change happens and work-life balance and so on, how do you bring that in so that people can take that forward? I'll come back to the whole thing around services. As soon as you're in services, of course, issue comes around IP. Where does IP sit? What is the intellectual property? Everybody is okay if it's a product, it's easier. If it is a service, how do you prove the IP? Why do you need to prove the IP? It is around the monetization, the income stream, all of that. Every month, when I put in for bids to investors or public funding or charity funding, I had to spend time writing 3-4 pages of route to market, and I had to make up spreadsheets full of numbers. I've been at it for 40 years. I can make up great spreadsheets with great numbers for people to follow. Most of it is bloody rubbish. And most